Welcome, everybody. Sorry. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. I'm Skinslip. That's Owen Neal. We're watching shark movies. I've probably already given this intro. He's probably going to cut this out since we're doing some combo episode. So there's my intro for those who are just watching this video. Now, hey, alright, so our next movie was Shark Attack 3 Megalodon from 2002 by David Worth. Of note, David Worth is the director of Kickboxer, Poor Pretty Eddie, Shark Attack 2, Warrior of the Lost World, which is a classic of Mystery Science Theater 3000, Lady Dragon 1 and 2, something we'll be covering at some point, the canon film Legend or Chain of Command, and a bunch of other action films that it appears, including American Tiger, American Tigers, which I think is like the fourth movie of that series. Anyway. Today, we want, Megalodon, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I did all that intro. Sorry, just went to go repeat myself. Cut that out, please. Alright. So, Owen. What do you think?
Yes.
What do you think so far? Like, I don't know. You're where you pick up. I don't know. We need a better transition. What do I need to transition to you with? I'm blanking here. Feels like I'm like on this horse for the first time, which is so weird. Okay, so okay, so yeah, we watched. We're gonna just start that piece over again. I fucked it all up at the end. We watched Shark Attack 3 Megalodon. We watched Shark Attack 3 Megalodon. From 2002, directed by David Worth, who previously did Kickboxer, Shark Attack 2, Warrior of the Lost World, a classic with Mystery Science Theater 3000, Lady Dragon 1 and 2, Chain of Command, and Poor Pretty Eddie, which I don't know if it has a physical release or not. Someone let me know in the comments if that's a thing. Anyway, Owen, why don't you take us through this movie, yeah?
Okay. You start out with some guys working on some stuff, doing a little underwater welding, and he gets eaten by a shark. That's how it kicks off.
Now, of note, a few years prior to this, the book The Meg by Steve Alton was written, 1996, 1997, I think it came out. I read it. It's one of my favorite novels. So I rented this when I saw this at Blockbuster because of the title Megalodon. And wouldn't you know, the opening to this movie is exactly the same as the opening to that book. Methinks that they may have cribbed this from said book. Shocked they didn't get sued. Anyway.
But I'd say a normal size shark at this point. Spoiler. I think big one shows up later.
They say it's a little. It's like a little bit bigger than a great white. I think they said.
I mean, it is a great white. That's the stock footage.
Yes, it's because Megalodons are very closely related to great whites, so that would make sense. But yes, the entire, almost every instance of the shark is either really bad CGI or stock footage. There's one very cool puppet for one shot, actually, one whole shot.
We saw it earlier too, but yes, there was a puppet.
It was built for one sequence only, though. It served one purpose. We'll get to that, but, you know.
We're introduced to Ben.
Introduced to what? I'm sorry? Try again.
We get introduced to Ben. And I guess his job is to keep the beaches safe. But when we're introduced to him, they went to go dive and get some lobsters. And he saw that there's underground cables that this company's putting out that connect to the different countries or some shit. Just laying on the ocean floor.
It's the transatlantic internet, basically, is what they're talking about.
But it was like damaged and bit by a shark, and he has a little tooth he found. And some people tell him to get out of the water. Don't mess with them cables.
Apparently he's a researcher?
No, he's been hired by the hotel to keep the beaches safe.
Right, but apparently he's a researcher. The guy in the suit? Though. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I know what
No.
you're saying, but it just what's what the description says. He's a researcher.
It's never mentioned him as a researcher.
That's
He
true.
works
It does never mention him being a researcher. Just
and
to
he
be fair.
does zero researching.
To be fair, he's fighting a shark most of the movie.
Kat is a researcher.
Yes, she definitely is.
But Ben,
Played by Jenny
no.
McShane.
I refuse that saying lies.
So Ben is played by John Barrowman, who we know by Doctor Who fans, Captain Jack Harkness. He's also in Untouchables and Zero Dark 30. Like, of note, he's done a bunch of notable films, and then he's mostly a TV actor. But he's also a very lovely person to hear. So, yeah. Jenny McShane was in Shark Attack, but as a different character, and she's in Cyborg Cop 3, aka Terminal Force, I think it's called. We'll cover that at some point. I bought that trilogy on DVD for a reason. But she never really broke out. She was in a lot of these shot on video, direct-to-video films, not shot on video, direct-to-video films. Her most notable one being the Watcher. Do you remember that film series?
No.
It was like some serial killer type horror film. Came out in the early 2000s. There's a whole trilogy of them, I think. I'm conflating movies. It may just be one movie. Anyway, The Watcher, it's called. Anyway, that's her biggest role. Shark Attack 3 would be her next biggest role. Anyway, those are our two quote-unquote researchers. One of them's a researcher, yes.
So he takes the tooth, puts it up to a digital camera, snaps a picture, and instantly on his computer appears a perfect cutout of the tooth. Not his hand holding it. No background, just the tooth. Perfect PNG.
Yeah, I mean, it's really bad.
Because on the internet, he cannot identify the tooth, even though I guarantee even back then there was plenty of Megalodon tooth pictures on the internet. But whatever. This is basically just to get Kat to show up. She sees the tooth, apparently jaunts down to Mexico. I don't know if we mentioned they're in Mexico.
Oh yeah, they're in Mexico now, even though it's shot in Bulgaria. 100% not Mexico. A lot of this movie is dubbed, because it's clear that probably people had thick accents and it was hard to hear some people, or there was some problem with on-set audio or something like that, you know. A lot of times they don't even shoot sync sound for some of these movies because it's just cheaper. Like, especially in the 80s, but this is like way past that time, so sync sound was much cheaper and easier to do. But I'm assuming that there were some audio issues because I would say a good 50% of the movie is completely dubbed. By the actors that are there, clearly, because they're in later scenes talking on set in the movie. So it's like there's probably some sound issue for a lot of that. Anyway.
But she introduces herself as a marine biologist, which is a lie. She's a paleontologist, if I remember correctly.
I think that's right. Yeah. But she could be, she could be a marine biologist and a paleontologist. She could be a paleontologist that focuses on marine life, which would make sense still. So I mean,
not according to her business card.
Ay. I know there's so many factual details with this movie. Shall we go over them? Like, transcontinental lines are buried underground so sharks wouldn't bite them. There's a lot of other things too. Like, grenades aren't giant round orbs.
Special grenades.
The shark couldn't eat a whole boat. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of like factual things here. I don't think the movie gives a shit about facts. Just saying.
Except for that one where they show her business card. It's a paleontologist on.
Apparently that's the one that matters, right?
Anyways, he gives her the tooth. Says, you can have it, whatever.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I assume a shark attack happened.
The guy's dog happened here, and we're like, oh no, the dog's gonna die. And then what happened was the guy threw the water frisbee thing in. The dog just kind of stared at the water, and so the guy goes in and gets it, and the dog starts barking, and so he throws the toy, and then he gets eaten. It's pretty awesome. I was like, yay, the dog lived! It's a great twist, because usually the dog gets killed in these kind of movies, you know?
Is that where he confronts her? Sees her business card and gets mad?
I don't know.
Or is that after the people die on the water slide?
I think that's people die in the water slide. I think that's what happens.
Yeah. Basically, people are dying. He goes to his boss and is like, well, we can shut down the beaches. And he, does his best Jaws mayor,
Oh,
keep
God.
it quiet, kill the shark.
We're trying to make money here, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So he ends up confronting her. They put a tracker on it. And then she admits it's a Megalodon, although it's obviously not a big one. And he wants to kill it, so they head out on our boat together. I want to point out, when they were putting the tracker on it, she had this guy with the camera. He had to get closer. He's standing on the back, the little landing area for divers to jump off. The shark comes up out of the water. He films for like 2 seconds and then puts the camera down. He's like, yeah, I got it. Yeah. And then the shark almost gets him and like bites the boat. And he doesn't film any of that. He filmed jack shit and he celebrated.
Right?
What a shit cameraman. That was also the puppet too, that we see later. Non on the boat. A little puppet action.
That puppet. That puppet was amazing. There's a giant rubber fin that we got a lot of fin vision where it's like the camera's right behind the dorsal fin or whatever as it swims through the water. I don't think that's called maybe it's the anterior fin. Anyway, it's one of those, the top fin on the back of the shark, the fin. We had a lot of those like shots, but
yeah, they're gonna track it down. Ben starts shooting at it with a pistol. I don't know what he thought he was gonna do.
Things.
As soon as it hits the water, that bullet's gonna probably break apart, lose a lot of its speed.
100% lose velocity within 5 feet. Like it's like if you can dive 5 feet into a pool, you probably can't be shot to death. Like it's just
he's trying. He's trying because that shark's heading straight to the beach with people in the water. Lifeguards tell him to get out, but of course there's some dumb people on a raft that don't listen. But they cut the shark off with their big boat, and the shark goes back to the ocean. They're like, yay, but hey, there's some drunk guys driving a boat with a girl parasail. He's like, well, I guess I'll go kill these people then. And he does. Well, he knocks one of them in the water and eats him, which made me laugh because the girl's like, Kat's like, we're not gonna make it, and Ben's just like, shit. What? And then he's eaten. The other guy gets knocked out, and so the girl starts falling down. So I thought he was just gonna she was just gonna fall in the water and be eaten, but the shark grabs and chews the line off and pulls her around a little bit, and then pulls her into the water.
This was shot specifically because they have fucking shark footage of a shark pulling on a piece of rope. So they wrote the sequence so they could use that footage and make it more convincing. Oh, my favorite fucking part happens here. This poor goddamn lady just wanted to be saved, and Jenny McShane's inability to literally hold everything in this movie. She drops, slips off, and can't hold on to everything she tries to hold on to in this movie. This movie is about her losing a grip on everything in her life. She's like trying to pull this poor woman out of the water, but she refuses to use 2 fucking hands, and so the poor lady keeps slipping out of her grasp, and then she gets eaten. The poor lady, right in front of her. And she's like, it's all my fault. I'm like, yeah, it is all your fault. You fucking killed her because you didn't use 2 fucking hands. Jesus fucking Christ.
At least that one woman's death affected her.
One person's death, even though, yeah.
Now, is this the same point the boat gets attacked, or is that late?
I think there's a few scenes between that in this. Like, there's a few other things that happen. But nothing of consequence. Some shit happens, and the shark starts attacking their boat.
Yeah. And busting it. And Kat continues to prove her inability to do anything. She goes down as the boat's sinking. She goes down to get her shotgun. and
It's in
the
her bag
shark
for
busts through the hole, and then she just like, I don't know if it's supposedly she was hit and knocked it, but it just looked like she just threw the shotgun into the water, and then screamed. And then it cuts to Ben up top. Like one of the guys gets knocked out, and Ben's up top, and then he's just like, "What's that?" I guess that's his reaction to her screaming.
I guess, but
And he goes down
this is a
there and
shark
tries to
puppet, by
beat
the
it to
way.
death.
This is a giant shark puppet that barely moves. Is really rubbery and shit. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And he beats it with a bat while yelling insults at it. And then apparently it corners him. And then she gets the shotgun, puts it in the mouth, says some lame one line, blows his brains out.
Yep, that's a pretty cool sequence. Shoots it and like, you see the brain splattering against the wall and shit. That's cool. That's the one sequence this fucking puppet was made for, by the way.
And then they're waving to Ben's friend that works with him. Hey, come pick us up. And a giant Megalodon eats his whole boat.
Yeah, it eats the whole fucking boat, man. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Does it eat her crew guys too?
Yeah, I think they're the only survivors, those two people.
A helicopter shows up randomly and they get on.
Yeah, they're the only people who get on the helicopter.
So they must have got eaten.
Yeah, poor bastards got eaten one at a time. Just whoop, whoop.
So he confronts his boss again with the giant Megalodon, which they pulled out of their boat, even though the giant Megalodon never bit their boat. But
yeah, it was like, what? Why is there a giant Megalodon piece in this boat?
And he's just kind of like...
I like to point out this is when you get the stock footage of the shark where the shark's eating a piece of meat or whatever off a hook, and they've digitally erased that and put the boat being eaten by the fucking shark in one bite. So I gotta commend them on a nice use of stock footage, at least. But this, by the way, it's the same stock footage as the previous movie we watched, and the same stock footage is used in damn near every shark movie, including Jaws. So I'm not surprised at all. So, but it's probably one of the more useful, most inventive ways of using it. To be fair, even if it doesn't look good at all.
I guess he quits, and then he's gonna go kill the giant shark. I don't get the point of any of this, but they meet up with Chuck. They're his Navy buddy.
The guy won't close the beach. Guys won't close the beach unless he kills the shark, but he'll agree to close the beach temporarily until he kills the shark, and that's yeah.
He's like, I thought you killed the shark.
He's like, that's the scene that comes between that we're talking about, by the way. The one I can't remember. That's the scene they have about him having, like, he has to kill the shark in 2 days. He comes back and says the whole fucking boat got eaten because it was the bigger shark.
Yeah. He's like, you killed the shark. Like, yeah, but his
bigger one
mom's
showed
here.
up. Yeah. Like, goddamn.
And then at some point, Chuck, the Navy guy, confronts the evil corporation who put the line in, because they know the line's just summoning Megalodon in their top secret emails, and they're like, whatever, no one's gonna believe you.
Typical evil corporate bullshit.
Yeah. So they team up, and then some reason Chuck has a giant fucking warhead in his house.
Yeah, that's not really explained, is it? Just
but
happens to have
it has to have, it can't just target a shark. This torpedo needs a tracking thing, which was completely useless story because a torpedo just shoots in a straight line. It doesn't need to track shit.
They can track. They can.
But it didn't need to. That was just all there for bullshit drama.
That was just for drama. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it wasn't for drama, but I'm saying...
Because she's in a helicopter and she misses it with the tracker. And like,
with a crossbow, by the way.
I got one.
A crossbow with his giant boxing of the fucking arrow. No wonder she fucking missed. Most unaerodynamic thing I've ever seen in my life.
And then Chuck and Ben are in a submarine that has the torpedo on. And he happens to have another tracker, so he has to swim out.
My favorite part, though, he goes, always have a spare. Something about, what was the line? Fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Specifically was the line, 1 second. Always carry a spare. It's the Navy way! I made a note. I couldn't remember.
But it's like, why wouldn't he give her the spare? Because she's trying to put it on it. But anyways, he swims out. This thing's supposed to be 70 feet, and he puts it in the, dorsal fin or whatever, instead of like the main chunk of the body. Because I guess the explosion was big when we saw it, but it was kind of like, was he just gonna blow the fin off?
Still not entirely sure how he got out of the sub without filling it with water entirely.
Oh yeah, because there's only a top hatch.
Yeah, exactly. But he leaves the sub. No one thinks twice
Didn't
about
even
it.
think about that.
He even uses that same tactic to escape the sub as it's sinking. Remember? But for some reason, nope, it's all good. Who knows?
Okay, I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
You're talking about realism. Yeah, this movie doesn't give a fuck about realism at all, in any way, shape, or form, which is fine.
Basically, after he gets the tracker on it, the shark decides he's gonna eat Chuck, and Ben rams it with the submarine, which knocks the tracker off.
Yep.
So he tells his friend to get out of the water, land. By the way, the whole time the shark had been attacking the rich people's yacht and eating rich people whole and things. He eats the main evil guy on a jet ski, just drives in his mouth.
Oh, my favorite is the guy who takes his fucking life preserver from a lady, shoves her out of the way, jumps off the boat directly into the shark's mouth.
Yep. That was Ben's boss that owned the hotel.
Yeah. That's right.
Bunch of beach or whatever.
That's right.
Even though they knew there's fucking megalodons out there, but they still decided they needed to have a fancy rich yacht party.
It eats an entire life raft full of rich people, which is great.
Yes. But there's still one life raft because Chuck gets on it with 2 random ass people, or 3 people actually. But Ben's plan is to drive the submarine into the shark's mouth so it'll bite it, and have the torpedo track the submarine. So he shoots the torpedo, then climbs out of the hatch to swim away. The
magic hatch.
While the torpedo does a
Big
half turn back to blow it up. He's not even 2 feet away from the shark when it blows up, and then they show stock footage of a nuclear explosion. And he's fine.
He just floats to the
surface. He's knocked out a little bit on top of the water, but he's fine. He's not just blown to bits like.
Yeah, no, continue.
Yeah, we missed the line. If that's
the line. Yeah, before this sequence, in the break between the first character encounter and the second, our fucking hero says, and I quote.
Wait, let's set it up.
Okay.
Chuck says, "Meet me back here at 8 a.m. sharp," and he drives away. And then Ben turns to Kat and says,
"I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?" Which
he does.
Yes, he does. Which Jonathan Barrowman revealed on Friday Night with Jonathan Ross, season 11, episode 10, apparently, that the line was said on set to make Jenny McShane laugh, which stayed in the film because she didn't even laugh. She's a fucking professional. She just took the line as is and kept going.
And then there's a shower sex scene. Whoa, yeah. I guess
completely pointless sex scene. Completely pointless. Doesn't need to be in this movie. They could have just literally cut to the next day after he says that fucking line. Did they sleep together? Who knows? Does it really matter? It doesn't matter. They probably could have cut that line out. Meet together tomorrow, and then just cut to the sun rising, and there they are.
Yeah.
This is totally unnecessary. Anyway, that's beside the point.
The point is,
exploitation. Lots of sex is unnecessary in them.
The explosion was so large that he would be dead, but he's fine.
His insides would have been liquefied. 100%. His body would have probably been fine, unharmed, but physically. But the shockwave would liquefy his internals.
If it was enough to kill a 70-foot shark and he was right next to the shark, he would be dead.
If he was on the other side of the shark, the explosion might not hit him, but like I said, the shockwave would kill him anyway. He's dead. He's basically
Especially
a bag of liquid.
The footage they showed, which was like an atomic bomb hitting the ocean. That would have took the helicopter out of the water, out above the water, too.
That would have sank the boat. That would kill everyone in the fucking water with them.
Yeah, the little dinghy with the...
Everyone would have been dead. The shark would have been dead, too, but everyone else would have been dead, too.
And then they get in the boat, and Ben says a bunch of unfunny one-liners, and they go,
And they go, what?
and then it cuts to a
You
a
broke up.
shark under
You
the
broke
water.
up entirely. You said something about one-liners, and then
He just says a bunch of unfunny one-liners, and they all cackle.
oh, they all cackle.
Yep, they all ha 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 ha. Megalodon, more like Megalodon. I forget
Megalodon.
what he said.
Yeah, I know. Should
Oh
be
yeah, Megalodon.
See, that one way better, huh? But no, Megalodon.
I think he said Megalodon. Gone.
Did he?
He might have. I don't think he said don't.
Oh, okay. Maybe he said Megalodon. Megalodon.
Either way,
Shut
a bunch of
up.
people cackled. And
Shut
then
up,
it just
Ben.
cut to.
Regardless.
And then I said, well, if there was two, there's going to be more. And the camera just one under there.
Yep. So, if you're interested in this, this came in a Blu-ray and a DVD set, Mega Shark 8 movie collection. I gotta say, if you spring for the extra couple dollars, get the Blu-ray, because it probably doesn't have all the video artifacts, and it's probably not 4 standard def movies crammed onto a fucking 8 gig disc.
Oh yeah, the opening shots of them underwater, just
Compressed.
square pixels. It was bad.
There was a lot of hatching from basically edge enhancement and then artifacting from compression combined. It was just looked horrible. They looked really bad. The CGI shark in the end of this is laughably bad, including Ben who swims away. It looks like an action CGI action figures like swimming. Like it doesn't look natural at all. But yeah, there's some fucking hilariousness. Okay, I'm gonna give this movie 2.5 stars out of 5. Just for the last 30 minutes. From the moment when he says, "How about I eat your pussy?" till the fucking end credits roll, it's entertaining.
Yep.
So I say I can recommend this movie safely. It's better than the last movie because of that. By 1/2 star. It's only slightly better.
Just all the people being eaten by the shark entertained me. Ben's terrible acting entertained me. Shit like that.
Oh, Sheriff's Fair. It's a Navy way! John Barrowman is excellent as Ben. He's so stiff. It's one of his first roles, so you gotta give him credit for at least trying, but whew, he's gotten much better as an actor, let me tell you.
There's so much where unnatural dialogue, and they'll cut back and forth to like nobody's talking and they're just smiling at each other, and it will just go back and forth.
Yep.
Or they'll say something and they'll both just laugh, and they'll just cut back and forth between people laughing, and it's just awkward.
I think that 50% of it's dubbed and not well.
And pretty much everyone's white in it.
Yeah, there's literally everyone is white, I think, actually.
Mexico.
Even though it's Mexico. We're in Mexico, but there's not a single Mexican to be fucking found.
And his friend had a Mexican accent, but I think he was white.
I think he was Spanish. From Spain, actually.
Yeah, it makes sense, but...
They're trying to pass him off as Mexican, I think. I think that's why.
Doesn't matter, he got eaten. And his boat.
Yep. Anyway, so, yeah, that was really good. And, next week we're watching what again?
Another shark movie. I guess Malibu Shark Attack.
Malibu Shark Attack, alright. It's okay, guys. We're going to cap this off with the best shark movie ever made as the last part. It'll be a surprise. We'll tell you next week. It's also the best third entry in a series. It's also the best shark movie ever. There's all your hints. That's right. Both my picks are thirds in a series. Anyway, any last words, Owen?
Go watch some shark movie.
Watch some fucking shark movies. Alright. Take it easy, everyone.